Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in again and welcome back. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about data formats. And the reason I want to talk about data formats is because we've been looking at APIs lately. And when we've been working with APIs, we returned a set of data and we usually returned it as a JSON structure. And that's a really common thing to do when you are working with data and APIs. You usually return the data in a common structure like JSON or XML, and there are a few different ones, but JSON is really popular. And the reason we do this is because it has a certain set of value in using a format that follows a specific set of rules. And this kind of ties a little bit back to the example that we had with HTTP, where if you remember, we kind of built out a HTTP server that received an HTTP text message, and then we kind of parsed that message in the programming language because we knew the structure of that message was going to be the same every time. Now, it's the same with data structures. So remember, when we are creating an endpoint with an API and we are returning JSON, in essence, we are returning just text. I mean, make no mistake, JSON and a JSON document is still just text. And any API that consumes that endpoint will have to parse that text and figure out what that text is supposed to represent. And that means having to run the JSON through a JSON parser. Now, the question is, how can we parse something that doesn't have a specific set of rules that defines how it's going to look? And the answer is we can't, or it's really hard to do so, because if we just got randomly structured data every time, then what should we base our parsing on? It would be really difficult to do. But if we know that, well, we are going to get this document and that document is going to look the same every time, it's always going to start with this. And then if you have an object or something that represents an object, we are going to start with these curly brackets. And then if you have a key, that's always going to be within quotes. Now we can start to build some kind of parsing rules, right? So we'll run the JSON through a parser and we'll figure out, well, okay, this is a key and this is a value because there's a colon between there, and this is a string. And now we can start to kind of figure out the different parts of the document and extract that and translate it to structures or data structures inside of the programming language. And that is why we are using these data formats, because it helps us to have predictable rules on how something is going to look. Now, I'm not going to drag this too much out. I think that that kind of gives us a basis for understanding the data formats. And I think it's going to be good for us to keep that in mind when we go forward. So this is kind of a short video, but we like short videos, don't we? So I want to thank you again for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.